anger behind. I have a bottle of water because sometimes you see certain things and you want to react. So, and I've also been told by my team, put the message as clearly as possible for the benefit of doubt, not because of my principle, not because of my relationship with him, but we just want the fact to be out there in the public. So let me first again, kọ́kọ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìyá mi, my late mother. I will continue to be grateful to you every blessed day. You brought me into this country on a clean record, and I will maintain that clean record. We don't have to tell lies. We don't have to fabricate things. We can always condemn, push things. We want Yoruba nation. There's no doubt about it. Some people want Nigeria to remain like Omoyele Sowore. Some people want Nigeria to dissolve. This is everything I'll be discussed. Please share this important broadcast. Before we do, as we say on our platform, we always like to share. So I'm sharing the program. I'm hoping that you will help me to share as well. Please tag you Omoyele Sowore. I know he's in Nigeria. Please tag him, or if you have the wife, let the wife come and watch what the husband have said. If you know his, AAC members, tell them to come and listen. If you know anyone that is close to Omoyele Sowore, I have refused not to do this kind of program for Sowore after he said certain things about Igboho. But this time around, we can't just let it go. So I'm doing the share. So if you're on Koikimedia WhatsApp, you are likely never to miss my broadcast. You will always be the first people as soon as I go live. We have about 884 members. All they do is just wait for me to share information. Just wait for us to share our news. Just wait to share our broadcast. Let me give kudos to the Koikimedia team. They were in Osun State yesterday, and they have returned back to their base. Thank you to all the Koikimedia staff, the management that are working day and night, so that we can continue to propel the news. Sowore thought he's the only one that can give news, but he has forgotten that there are people that are also running back and forth to bring the news and investigative journalism. So mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, forílẹ̀ ibi wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fàlérí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bá ti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹ́jẹ́ ká máa lépa. Ìtẹ̀síwájú fọ́pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. The weather is bright outside from London, where I am bringing this live broadcast to you. It is just 11:30 a.m. in the 7th, because I like to put dates, because whatever we are doing, now I know it is important, because after we die, like my mother have died now, up to the point of her death, she knows a lot of things, but the moment she has died, we will only continue to remember her from there, so that when the next generation are watching this kind of videos, they can know facts and figures. Let me say again, we are not here to destroy anybody's character. We are not here to bring anybody's down. But before I even go further, let me first read somebody that I have not spoken to, and we were together with Sowore in London when he came to campaign about AAC some few years back. I have all the evidence. His name is Engineer Olusegun Okpanuga. We have not spoken. He has just joined this broadcast, and the first two comments he has put out, we have not spoken. We don't have any kind of conversation before coming on air. He says, and I quote, Tinubu did not fund Igboho. Sowore lied and and changing narratives. Engineer Olusegun Opanuga that also has some relationship with Sowore, because a lot of us have Sowore as not just a Yoruba man, as a Nigerian that we believe in at some point, but he has put it, and I said, Tinubu did not fund Igboho. Sowore paro ó wá fẹ́ change in tí wọ́n pè ní narratives. Let me say this again. Welcome. Please share the program, because you will contribute. You will add your own input so that we can balance it. Ó jẹ́ kí n jáde kí n ṣe bí ọmọ ọ̀tá gbirigbirigbirigbiri. But I think I've gone past that stage now, and I'm sure a lot of you will respect me if I just conduct this program without putting some kind of sentiment around it. I know certain things I can say in Yoruba. Timaron says he Sowore pada. I know certain things and words I can use that he will be crying wherever he is. But let's do it in a civilized, and maybe you have every right to say whatever you want to say for Sowore. I want to start the Twitter space. I will speak in English and I will also speak in Yoruba so that we can get those that are commenting at the moment about this narrative that Igboho was funded by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That we know is a big lie. But why is Sowore going after Igboho? That is the first question we need to ask. Kílódé tí Omoyele Sowore is going after Igboho? Because first and foremost, Sowore will never, in another 30 years of Nigeria, will be a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So be it if Nigeria is still existing. Sowore can never get any kind of revolution to start in Nigeria. He doesn't have the capacity, the tenacity to start a revolution. He can speak grammar from here to thy kingdom come. He can put out all kind of narratives. Omoyele Sowore, you can never be the president of Nigeria. Tinubu has been the president. Hate him or like him, disregard him, disrespect him. But Sowore, did you bring Buhari to power? Omoyele Sowore, ṣé ìwọ ló gbé Buhari wọ ìjọba? And why are you now, for whatever reason, political reason, trying to now destroy Igboho's name? Because Igboho has aligned with Tinubu. At least, give and take, whether as Nigerians or not, Tinubu and Igboho are still from the southwest. And moreover, Igboho has every right to support any candidate. Yes, you might not be happy with certain utterances. That is politics. You cannot be saying that because of such, you have now gone back to put out a narrative that Igboho was funded. Do you know the meaning of funded? And let me explain to those of us that probably never know. Igboho was never a member of Yoruba Nation. Igboho was just doing his own thing about security. Igboho was going for security that was having a big impact that Sowore was never able to dissolve or solve. Sowore could not go into the forest to go after the Fulani terrorists. Igboho was able to do so. Igboho did it very good, without any compromising, without being funded. But he decided that since the government of Buhari that Sowore brought to power was unable to curb the Fulani, Igboho now said, well, let us dissolve Nigeria. And if Igboho has returned back to say that maybe for now we can do things in the political way, let me work with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to look into the insecurity matter in the southwest that Sowore could not look into. Even his hometown in Ondo State, as I speak right now, is under a serious danger. And I believe, Sowore, you need Igboho more than anybody to look after yourself and your family and those of your relatives and your network that are being killed on a daily basis in the southwest part of Nigeria. But you are not interested in that. All you want to do is to destroy Igboho's name. I will not sit here and be alive and tolerate such. You can speak, I can speak. You have lived in America for decades. I have lived in the UK for 29 years. And you are not as good as me. I can say it boldly because I have you in London during your AAC campaign, and you cannot say that I collected £1 from all my sweat and everything we did for you from the media angle, as at that time we never even know Igboho. Gbogbo nǹkan la ṣe fún ẹ, ìwọ Ọmọyẹlé Sowore. You remember that we were in the same room in London, in hotel, when we went to order the food. We came back. I invited you for the radio station. But kí ni Igboho ṣe fún ẹ, ìwọ Ọmọyẹlé Sowore? Kí ni Igboho gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ? Ṣé ó gbàyàwó ẹ ni? Ṣé ó gbọ́mú ẹ ni? Ṣé ó yáwó lọ́wọ́ ẹ ni? And you know that you are calling Igboho behind. We have evidence because you kept calling him so that you can tap his phone and record it so that you can put it out there in the public. You spoke, you wanted to call Igboho, to call him, and you did. Maybe while you were in Ibadan. Because my principal told me that you called him, but he refused to pick your call. Ṣé nítorí ẹ̀ ló ṣe wá jáde, ìwọ Ọmọyẹlé Sowore? Is that the reason why you came out to want to destroy Igboho? Because Igboho refused to pick up your call when you were in Ibadan. Remember, you were in Ibadan just some few days ago. You kept calling Igboho, but Igboho knew that if he pick up your call, you are going to record him, you are going to set him up. Igboho is not as stupid and idiotic like you. Igboho is a smart man. It does not matter how many times you have lived in America. Igboho has also lived in Europe, just like you. But let's take it one at a time. Ẹ bá mi pé Ọmọyẹlé Sowore, òun ni mò ń fẹ́ fún ní èsì padà. Kí ni Igboho gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ? You will provide us that evidence. That evidence, I don't need your source. Because as a journalist as well, I will not give my source out to anybody. I will never give my source out to anybody. But I want you, Omoyele Sowore, to prove with evidence. If you cannot prove with evidence before the end of this month, kó jẹrà mọ́ ẹni kùn. Gbogbo tó bá ní, gbogbo tó bá sọ, gbogbo tó bá ń ṣe, gbogbo tó bá gbèrò lórí Igboho, kó jẹrà mọ́ ẹni kùn, ìwọ Omoyele Sowore. Tó bá lè fún wa ní that evidence, just like you have given enough evidence under your Sahara investigative journalism. Let's first listen to Omoyele Sowore. This was an interview sometime before, and what he said. This is what you said in that radio interview. I have prepared for you. I have bring some few facts that people have wrote, because people have already questioned your character. You have told us that you are the best Nigerian that we can ever think of. Ta ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀? You have told us you are credible. You have told us you are the student union. You are the this, you are the that. You work with MK Abiola and blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 shit. Ìwọ nìkan kọ́ ni o ní integrity. Ọmọyẹlé Sowore. Igboho sì ní integrity jù ẹ́ lọ. Ó ní integrity jù ẹ́ lọ lánàá. Ó ní because Igboho wọlé lọ bá àwọn Fúlàní. Ìwọ ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Kò ṣe tí Igboho ṣe, ó tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n ì tí bí pọ̀ rí bàbá ẹ̀dá kò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Èmi ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n ì tí pín bàbá ẹ̀dá kò lọ ṣe tí Igboho tó ṣe, ó lè ṣe. Because you think that you can use your pen to destroy someone because it does not align with you. I remember that we have spoken with you prior unto the 2021 as we were campaigning for Yoruba Nation. Igboho has every right to stand wherever he wants to stand. Mo ti dé, mo ṣe ń mú bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni. Ẹ bá mi pe Ọmọyẹlé Sowore. Ẹ bá mi jẹ́ àwọn tó wà l'Amẹ́ríkà tó mọ Sowore pé Koiki ti jáde láti wá fún ní èsì in tó kọ pé Tinubu fọ́ndì olóyè Sunday Igboho láti fi gbé Buhari lọ. Do you think so? That means you are also saying that Baba Akintoye was funded, because the more you are questioning Igboho, you are also pointing to a 92-year-old man, older to be your father, that he has been paid by Tinubu. But my name is Olayomi Koiki, known as Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Let's hear from this man known as Sowore. This was a video I picked up, and this is what he has to say.
Been around for 30 years, fighting for the betterment of this country. First as a student union leader, and of course as a leader of the media movement that brought the government that is into power.
Only let me say what he said very well. I have been a student union for many years. And I was the one that brought the government to power. What government is Sowore talking about? It's talking about the government of the former late Muhammadu Buhari. You said it, and I quote, that you were the one that brought Buhari to power. How did you bring Buhari to power? What was your agenda to destroy Jonathan as at the time to bring Buhari to power? And Buhari that you brought to power came to Ibadan during agitation to tell the governor as at the time that do not try any rubbish with my Fulani people. That same Buhari became a president, and we saw the end of it. Even when Buhari came to power, we knew how he wanted to destroy Tinubu. We knew all that agenda to make sure that Tinubu was segregated. We knew how they changed the money. Sowore, what is your agenda for not Nigerians, but for we the Yorubas? Ṣé ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ṣá àbí ọmọ àlè Yorùbá ni ẹ́? Mo bí ẹni o. I'm asking you a question. Ṣé ọmọ Yorùbá ni ẹ́ ni àbọ̀ ọmọ àlè Yorùbá ni ẹ́? I am speaking to Sowore. Like I said, let everybody watch this video on my platform. You dare not pick this video and drop it on your platform. I will flag it. I want people to come and see what I have sent back to Sowore. Like I said, let's listen one more time to what Sowore said.
30 years fighting for the betterment of this country. First, as a student,
What betterment of this country you have been fighting for? You have been fighting for your pocket. Let me quickly go to this document that was written by another investigative, brilliant Nigerian journalist. Hate him or disagree with him, his name, I quote, is David Odoye. We come back to this video. I have asked Google. All you need to do is go to Google. These are the people that are funding Sahara Reporter. First and foremost, this is in the public domain. This is not Koikimedia making it up. So when you go to Google, all you need to type is, who is funding Sahara Reporters? Ta ló ń sanwó Sahara Reporter? Ta ló ń fún Sahara Reporter ní owó tó fi ń ṣe gbogbo tó ń ṣe tó fi di Sahara Reporter lẹ́nìí? And the message came back. Sahara Reporter, founded by Omoyele Sowore in 2006, is largely, tọ́bání largely, into tobini, into fẹ́, into tobi, into gun, into pọ̀, largely funded through grants from international philanthropic organizations and foundations. Key funders have included MacArthur Foundation, Ford Foundation, and the Omidyar Foundation. 3 foundations. Who are those behind those foundations, Sowore? Who are those that set up those foundations, and what is the agenda of those foundations? Because we know the agenda of the West. We know how they have used media to put out a wrong narrative for many years until the social media and many other medias like ourselves started coming out to distort many lies from many of those Western media. Are you also using your media to put out the wrong narrative in Nigeria so that you can be able to get your own intention or your own attentions, as you like all the time? Because we know what your attentions are. Once again, I'm asking, who are you to talk to Sowore, to Igboho, that Igboho has collected money? But what is sanwó fún Igboho? Ìyẹn President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We come back to that. Even if, and I use the word even if, but we know that there is an agenda. As 2027 is getting closer, you don't want to destroy Igboho alone, but you probably want to bring another agenda like you did with Buhari to government. Gbogbo àjọ wà lẹ́nu ẹni, àjọ wọ ṣòkòtò kan náà, èmi àti ẹ̀ Sowore láti sin lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sẹ́yìn.
For 30 years, fighting for the betterment of this country. First as a student union leader, and of course as the leader of the media movement that brought the government that is into power. Because we came to power on my back. On my back. On the back of young people who invested a lot of, who invested a lot of hope and aspiration. You invest more than me. No. The investment we made in... No. It's not about noise. It's reality. Are you present not to me now to the point? speaking public, not just what people said. Any video of me campaigning for Buhari, any meeting between me and Buhari, right? Any article I wrote on behalf of Buhari that asked Nigerians to vote for Buhari in 2015, or is it 2019 that I ran against him, abused him across Nigeria? Can you please present it as an evidence that I
the same Sowore that is telling someone that to present an evidence, the same Omoyele Sowore tó ń sọ fún èèyàn kan pé kó provide evidence is now coming out without no evidence, which is garbage and rubbish, to say that Igboho collected money. The same Sowore that is asking somebody to provide evidence. You can see how we have understood what your agenda are. Your agenda is to bring down Igboho. Your agenda is to destroy his character. Your agenda is to destroy his name. But we will not sit back and allow you to do so, because Igboho did not start the Yoruba Nation campaign. Maybe some of you didn't know that. And I can tell you categorically, when I was able to have some kind of contact with Igboho during when I went to the Nigerian embassy after the late Tolulope Arotile died, Igboho called into my program live, and that was the beginning and the best journey so far between myself. I did not want Yoruba Nation under Igboho, under Koikimedia, and under many of us to be bloodshed. So the question now is, where did you find out that Igboho was funded by President Bola Tinubu? When? What date? Where are your receipts? Where are your... Because as an investigative journalist, as you call yourself, Omoyele Sowore, ó jẹ́ kó ní evidence yẹn, kò jẹ́ kó kọ́kọ́ sínú paper, ó jẹ́ kó ti ju evidence yẹn sí gbogbo àgbáyé pé this is my evidence, as I have put out many evidence in the past about the corrupt leaders in Nigeria. Because we know you to say that you are running after the corrupt leader, but we can also say from those that have written about you that you are also someone of a character that we might look into. So when people that are coming out to read your article, which I'm going to read now, they must understand that Babaki Toye is the leader of the Yoruba Nation struggle from the beginning, and is still the leader. And Babaki Toye has many others that have also do what we call supporting the agenda of Yoruba Nation. So it's not just Igboho that is asking for Yoruba Nation. There are others that also want Yoruba Nation. So let's look at the article that I received on the Sahara Reporter. Omoyele Sowore made a claim during a recent episode of his Times podcast release on Monday evening, where he spoke on political dynamics that shaped the agitation in the Southwest. Ṣé ni wọ́n máa ń ṣe bí bàtẹ́ pé ìwọ nìkan ni olórí mẹ́fà? Ó ń ṣe bí bàtẹ́ pé ìwọ nìkan ló dájú nínú gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá? Ìwọ nìkan ló ní integrity? Ìwọ nìkan lọmọ Yorùbá tí tó fẹ́ nǹkan tó dáa fún ọmọ Yorùbá tó kù? But we know your agenda. We know people like you, because your agenda is not pure, and we know that. Because, like I said, I met you in London, and you cannot say that during the time I met you, I asked you for what I could have asked you to pay for my service. You could have paid for my service when you came to London and we were helping you to promote your AAC. And even all those donations and every support that you got during that period, you know that a lot of people have questioned it as well. So you cannot come and tell us that you have the same integrity and character. Like I said, I'll come back to that. Fiery human rights activist, former presidential candidate that will never be a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria until Nigeria will be dissolved. You will never be a president. You know that. If you like, cry from here to thy kingdom come. Nobody will vote for you, not even your family member, not even your close allies, not even your friends, because nobody believes in you. Omoyele Sowore has stated that the Yoruba Nation agitation led by Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, it is led by Professor Adebanji Akintoye in support on a full chest by Igboho. This is the mistake that a lot of people keep saying. We have a leader. Igboho has every right to be a leader, but he knows that Baba Akintoye is the leader, and Ogba from Baba Akintoye nyonyo. And if he decides that he wants to go for security and work with President Tinubu, on China's television this morning they were talking about state policing. President Tinubu also knows that the fact that insecurity is a problem. We need many people that can help the government to support the government when it comes to security. Should we say because we are asking for Yoruba Nation? Oh, because we are asking for Yoruba Nation, our people should be maimed and killed. If you're having problem, go to the YouTube. There's not much I can do on the other network that you're listening to, especially those of you on TikTok. Bear with us because like I said earlier, we are working on my network. It will be resolved in the next couple of days. So let me say it again, Sowore. Níbo ló ti wá sọ pé Baba Akintoye tí ó jẹ́ leader. That means ke Baba Akintoye náà gbowó ló ń sọ yẹn. So you are almost the same with Mayegun in Scotland that was abusive of Baba Akintoye, just like he's opening his dirty stinking mouth on Igboho as well. Ọmọ àlè Yorùbá lẹ́yìn méjèèjì. Let's go further. Yoruba Nation agitation that was led by Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho was secretly funded by President Bola Tinubu to destabilize the administration of the former President Muhammadu Buhari. Ẹ wo that kind of words tó jáde lẹ́nu ọmọ àlè Sowore pé President Bola Tinubu fund Igboho. Remember that this is not the first time that people are saying that. We had an audio that was out in the public domain that somebody also said that Igboho collected 50 billion naira. And everybody ran with that information. Even though the person did not have any evidence. We also know that somebody said that Igboho collected money from Tinubu in Lagos. The question is, why are you all running after Igboho that is in support of Tinubu? Why, Sowore? Kí ni agenda gangan? Kí ni nǹkan tí ó dì mú tó fẹ́ fi wó ara Igboho wálẹ̀? Again, like I said, kí ni nǹkan tó rí? Kí ló mi ọbẹ̀ tó sè? Because you are saying, and I quote, that Tinubu, the president, funded Sunday Igboho to destabilize, because Igboho, like I said, was not involved in the Yoruba Nation struggle at the beginning. So at what point did Igboho came in to destroy Buhari's government? Because the same Buhari that we wrote letter to, the same Buhari that we protested against across the board around the globe, you are now coming out to say that Sunday Igboho ó gbowó lọ́wọ́ President Bola Tinubu. Sori pé orí ẹ ò pé ọmọ àlè ni ẹ́. Torí ìwọ bá pé ni gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá, ó jẹ́ kó fún wa ní ẹ̀rí ni. Kò ń ṣe pé kò kàn fẹnu sọ lásán, wàá fún wa ní ẹ̀rí. Ẹ̀rí yẹn la máa wá wọ̀ pẹ̀lú. But o lè mẹ́rin jáde because o mọ̀ pé irọ́ bánsá ló ń pa. Irọ́ bánsá ló ń pa. Ta ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún gangan? Àwọn wo gangan ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún? Are you ṣiṣẹ́ fún Nigerians? Or you are working against Yoruba people? And whether you like it or not, Yoruba people will scale through whatever we are going through today. Because people like you thought that you are the only player in the market in your 50s. Oh, my power ń lé ẹlẹ́yìn ni. Àwa náà ń lé ẹlẹ́yìn ni. Àwa tá wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ náà àdúrò. Tó bá rò pé ìwọ nìkan ni ọba Elédùmarè fún ní ara láti máa sọ̀rọ̀. Àwa náà ti di Koikimedia, àwọn èèyàn tí ń gbọ́ wa lágbàáyé. À ń lé eléré ni. So ìwọ náà mama o gbọ́dọ̀ dúró dáadáa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún ẹ, o gbọ́dọ̀ dúró dáadáa. Because irú yín, a mọ agenda yín sí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, a mọ in tí ẹ fẹ́ ṣe sí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó bá fún yín láyè. People like you, we know that your agenda is to work with the other ethnic people against Yoruba people. We know that already. We have seen it. Wọ́n ní láti sọ fún wa. We know your agenda. A mọ̀rú yín. Mo mọ̀rú yín. But a dúró pẹ̀lú yín. Àwa náà dúró sí lọ́rùn. Like I said, if you think that somebody like me, you can just come out and say all this your rubbish. Bóyá nígbà kan rí. Bóyá ní ìgbà kan rí. But like I said, we will eventually get to where we are going. Those of you on TikTok, we will have to bring it down. go on another platform and watch the remaining of this program. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, my name is Olayomi Koiki, known as Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. We will open the phone line, but let me crack on the remaining 20 minutes. Màá fẹ́ ìtókù náà láyè láti wá sọ tẹnu yín. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa nílé lóko ní gbogbo ibi tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa pé ọba Elédùmarè kò ní jẹ́ ká bí irú ọmọ Yẹlé Sowore lọ́mọ ẹ bá ń ṣàmì ẹ̀ torí pé irú òun ó ní àjẹ́ndà burúkú sí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá bí ẹ̀yin ò mọ̀ irú ọmọ Yẹlé Sowore àjẹ́ndà sílẹ̀ Yorùbá kò ń ṣe kékeré, but you cannot use cheap blackmailing against Igboho because Igboho jù ẹ lọ pẹ̀lú ọgbọ́n tó ju ọgbọ́n tó wà lórí ẹ lọ. Okay, we'll come back to that. Sowore made a claim during the recent episode of his Times podcast that was released on Monday evening, where he spoke on political dynamics that shaped the agitation in the Southwest. According to him, the agitation was not entirely organic. Orí ẹ ò pé, orí ẹ kò pé. Báwo ni wọ́n ṣe mọ̀ pé kò wà organic? Jáde kó sọ pé kò wà organic. Nígbà táwa ń tẹ̀lé ẹ ní London. Nígbà táwa ń campaign fún wọn as AAC to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not knowing that you have another agenda. Can you say then that what you were doing was organic? Mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni o, ṣé wọ́n lè jáde nígbà yẹn tó ṣe àwa mọ̀ bí ó wà organic tí wọ́n nìkan ló mọ̀ pé kò wà organic? Because what you all have done in the past is to use the little bit of your influence. You think that you are the only one that have influence. Ó kù díẹ̀ gbogbo wa à ń padà bọ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà yẹn. Sori tí wọ́n ṣe yẹn àwa náà máa ṣe tiwa. You are not the only one that are the most influential person in Nigeria. There are many people that are speaking every day around the world that are Yoruba people. And like I said, you cannot come and tell us that you are the only one that your platform today, Sahara Reporter. Do you know how many people have come out that are far better and doing very well on their own platform? They might be small, but they are organic. So the world that Yoruba Nation movement was not organic. Orí ò pé ìwọ ni kò wá sọ ibi tí kò organic sí. Wá sọ ibi tí kò wà organic sí. Because you know that Yoruba Nation was organic and you were using your own revolution to try to destroy it. Because you know that nobody was going to go after you. Call anybody for rally today, Sowore, and let's see your capacity. Not in Yoruba land, but even in Nigeria. Have we not seen it? Is that not the same you that they will call you for rally and protest and then before you know, oti kanle oti sálọ. Wà ti sálọ. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́, ìwọ ọmọ Yẹlé Sowore, àbí kò ń ṣe wọn náà láàrin tó bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ protest oti sálọ. We did protest across Yoruba land and we stood our ground because it's our fundamental right for what we are asking for. So let's go further. He further claimed that Tinubu, feeling sidelined by the northern political interests, allegedly resorted to backing separatist agitation. Sowore ọmọ àlè bomb bastard ọmọ àlè ó ní nítorí pé agitation táwa gbé dání Tinubu wá rí i pé àwọn northerners wọ́n máa sideline òun ó wá báàkì àwa tá à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation. Ẹ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu ọmọ àlè. Ẹ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu ọmọ àlè Yorùbá. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? Kò ń ṣe wọ́n ní Fúlàní pa àbúrò ẹ̀ abó ti gbàgbé ni. Do you remember that we helped you to also push it out when your brother was killed by the same Fulani? Abó ti gbàgbé. Kò ń ṣe Fúlàní ló pa àbúrò ẹ̀ ni. Ọmọ àlè nìyẹn. Torí pé ìwọ gbàgbé ni. Wọ́n ní ẹni tó yàgbẹ́ máa gbàgbé. Bọ́ ẹni tó kò ní gbàgbé. Ìwọ gbàgbé ni. Let's go further. And he looked at it and said, I help you guys to get to power. Only Tinubu sọ pé òun máa help àwa láti gba power. That is what Sowore ọmọ àlè tó ń sọ. You guys don't want my candidacy. I am going to tell Yoruba people to leave. He started funding them. That means Tinubu fún wa ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ owó. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? When we were struggling to have money to do a lot of things that we wanted to do for our peaceful campaign that was not revolution like you wanted. Because when you're talking about revolution, you are talking about people, blood will be shedded on the floor, which Babakitoye was against up to date. In back and secret, Babakitoye never wanted any bloodshed of Yoruba people. not even other Nigerians. But you wanted to use people from the southeast against Yoruba people to destroy Yoruba land. So you are saying now that for the period of Yoruba nation that is still existing, that Tinubu was funding us. Sowore also accused Buhari administration of attempting to eliminate Igboho without knowledge of Seyi Makinde. So Buhari, being who he is, came and tried to kill Igboho, and without informing the governor of the state, they brought special forces from Abuja to come and kill Sunday Igboho. He claimed. Ṣé wọ́n ló set Igboho up tó fi mọ̀ yẹn? Mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni o. Ṣé wọ́n ló set it up? Because you can never be trusted. You can never be trusted. Let's go further. Recounting the controversial raid on Igboho's residence in Ibadan, for Igboho sílẹ̀, because Igboho is the brand that you needed to do your leverage. Because another set of people, what in the day? O rò pé wọ́n nìkan ni ìwọ bàbá 50. O rò pé wọ́n nìkan ló wà lórí ọpọ́n. Àwa kan ti ń dìde, àwọn kan tuntun ti ń dìde lẹ́yìn tiwa. And like you said, lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀gan to initiate, wọ́n ti fẹ́ sílẹ̀. Ṣèbí lára àwọn ọmọ tó ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo gbà ló ń pè wá lẹ́yìn táwọn fún ní 10,000 táwọn fún 20,000. I have the evidence. Lára àwọn tẹjọ́ ń ṣe AAC tó lè fund dáadáa, they call me, they say they need money, we giving them money. Bomb bastard, ọmọ àlè. Gbogbo owó tó ń gbà kí ló fi ń ṣe? Gbogbo owó tó ń gbà kí ló fi ń ṣe? Gbogbo owó tó ń gbà lọ́tún lọ́sì kí ló fi ń ṣe? Ìyẹn ni very dark man ṣe náà máa tiẹ̀ mọ́lé. Tó bá bí ẹ̀dá lọ ṣe ti very dark man sọ, bí a kò ní tiẹ̀ mọ́lé. Have you got billed out? Idiot all over the place. A ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni lórí social media yìí, ìwọ ní kọ́kọ́ ló ní airspace. Tí wọ́n bá ti kọ́ tiẹ̀, àwa náà máa dẹ́ ẹ lóhùn. Tó bá tún jáde, tó bá tún sọ mi, màá tún jáde fún ẹ. Idiot all over the place. Let's go further. Only Sunday Igboho was in that house that day. Báwo ló ṣe mọ̀? But he was hiding. Níbo ló hide sí? Ọmọ àlè. I told everybody till date I was with Sunday Igboho on the day after he was attacked, and there was no blood on his body, and there was no any kind of injury. Ó fẹ́ mọ̀ dí abájọ ni Sowore. Ó fẹ́ mọ̀ dí abájọ ni àìmọ̀ dí abájọ ló bí ẹ nínú. Ó ẹ fẹ́ mọ̀ bí Igboho ṣe kúrò nínú ilé. Ẹ lọ pé bàbá Igboho níbi tó wà níbi tí táwọn Elédùmarè fi sí níbi tó wà. Irú ẹ fẹ́ mọ̀ bí tí Igboho gbà jáde. Ẹ rò pé Igboho fo fẹ́ǹsì ni ọmọ àlè. Bí èyí lẹ sọ pé Igboho máa dológbò. Lẹ ṣe pa ológbò lọ́mọ àlè. Ṣé bọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá nìwọ? Ṣé bọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá nìwọ pé wọ́n? Ṣé bọ́ ọmọ Ìlàjẹ ló pé rẹ l'Ondo State? Ó wá fẹ́ mọ ibi tí Igboho tí ọba Elédùmarè fi agbára sí lára ẹ̀ tó fi jáde kúrò nínú ilé yẹn. Wàá sì lọ ṣe nǹkan tó máa fi mọ̀ yẹn. Idiot all over the place. Gbogbo yín náà la mọ̀. Gbogbo yín lẹ̀ ń wá àṣírí Igboho. Tẹ́ bá wá dá àṣírí yẹn, ẹ wá lò against ẹ̀. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? Because when everybody keeps coming out that Igboho of offense, I am telling you, and I have every evidence. Mo mọ bí Igboho ṣe dé ọ̀dọ̀ mi. After tó ti kúrò nínú ilé, after he left his house in Soka, I followed his trail just like America rescue their own citizen. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe rí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. But we don't have to give you evidence because Donald Trump was asking the CIA yesterday, should we give information to the public? If otherwise, I can still jail you. The CIA said we will not give you any information. So you can watch Shiribi Igboho ṣe dé ọ̀dọ̀ Koikimedia ẹ túbọ̀ máa wá. But I can put my hand on my chest that Igboho came to my place on the 1st of July 2021. Àjọsùnmọ́jú ni ẹ̀yàn màlè bomb bastard. Lọ bèrè lọ́wọ́ Amẹ́ríkà bó ṣe rescue fighter jet wọn tó sọ̀kalẹ̀ bó ṣe rescue ọmọ yẹn olùkọ́ máa sọ fún gbogbo àgbáyé ni America boasts that they are the best in it. Igboho will continue to be the best among all the Yorubas. Ẹni tó bá ní agbára ju Igboho lọ kó jáde kó ṣe ní tí Igboho náà bá ṣe kárí ká lè máa dúpẹ́ fún yín. But for now, Igboho was able to leave that house without any single bullet in his body, not even any mark. I was with him all the way through. Ẹ̀yàn Mali, bomb bastard, idiot all over the place. Mumba Moitide. And nobody dare pick this video and put it on your own page. Ẹni kan wá wò lọ́dọ̀ Koikimedia. You dare do that, that page will go down. He added that the alleged operation was intended as a warning to Tinubu They wanted to kill him so that Tinubu would know that they were not playing. That is what happened. Sowore said, so ìwọ ti di script writer. Ìwọ ló mọ bí gbogbo ẹ ṣe lọ ní July 1st 2021 ọmọ àlè. Tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n pa Koiki sínú ilé níjọ́ náà bọ́ọ̀mù àlè ọmọ Yorùbá olórí burúkú yìí bó ṣe máa sọ̀rọ̀ náà ní sí nìyẹn. Tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n rí Ìgbòho pa sínú ilé ni ẹ lè imagine irú nǹkan tí irú àwọn ilé máa sọ lẹ́nìí, but Ọlọ́run fẹ́ jẹ́ ká rírú ọ̀rọ̀ tèmi sọ náà ni. Ọlọ́run tó ń bẹ lẹ́yìn Koikimedia, tó ń bẹ lẹ́yìn Ìgbòho, tó ń bẹ lẹ́yìn bàbá Kílò, mo ní mi ni the last man standing. Àjọ máa mú kan lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ whether you like it or not. Igboho will continue to endorse and support Tinubu. Tó bá ń wẹ̀ kó lọ já sómi kó máa bá lọ, problem ti ẹnìyẹn. Ẹnu ẹ̀ lájọ wà, ẹnu ẹ̀ ní gbogbo àjọ wà yìí, and very soon èmi náà ń bọ̀ nlé. Mò ń bọ̀ nlé ó kù díẹ̀, ìwọ̀nba díẹ̀ ló kù. Bóyá next year la máa dé ni, bóyá yẹ̀ yìí ni, ó kù díẹ̀. Idiot all over the place. Ìwọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé Tinubu fund Igboho, òun ló wá ń fund àwa tá à ń struggle fowó, tá à ń wá owó, tá à ń béèrè owó lọ́wọ́ members of the public. Bá fẹ́ fi ṣe Yorùbá nation. Ṣèbí wọ́n rí owó gbà ló fi ń ṣe Sahara reporter. Ṣèbí wọ́n rí owó gbà. That is the evidence here. Let's go back to Google. Who is funding Sahara reporter? Go and put that on Google. Ẹ lọ fi sórí Google. Who is funding Sahara reporter? Ta ló fund ẹ tó fi dìde lẹ́nìí? Tó fi sọ pé the Sahara reporter. Do you think that all those people that are back home as well, if they are well funded, they will do better than you? Omuali, bomb bastard. Idiot all over the place. Do you think that if nobody is funding you, ìwà lè di Sowore wà di Sahara reporter ta ló máa mú ẹ? Ṣèbú olówó fún ẹni. Èlò lọ fún ẹ àwọn foundation yìí. Ẹ gbọ́ rí? Èlò lọ fún ẹ. Èlò ló gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn foundation yìí. Can you give us the exact figure you collected from them? I will come to David Odoye on his article. Mo ti bẹ̀ mú jáde, mo ń bọ̀. Let me repeat again. Sahara reporter tẹ́ ń kà lẹ́ni. Tẹ́ ń sọ pé Sahara wọ́n kówó fún Sahara tó fi ń di Sahara lẹ́ni ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, àwọn kan ló wà lẹ́yìn wọn náà ni. And those names are grant from international philanthropic. Kí ni wọ́n ṣe philanthropic? Àmọ́ tí gbogbo náà pè ní philanthropic. Gbogbo ọmọ tí ẹni tó ní Microsoft, Bill Gates, àmọ́ tó ń ṣe láfíríkà lẹ́ni ni. Àmọ́ gbogbo wàhálà tó ti dá sílẹ̀ nínú Áfíríkà lẹ́ni. So kí ni agenda MacArthur Foundation tó kówó fún Sowore tó fi ń ṣe Sahara reporter lẹ́ni? Kí ni agenda Ford Foundation tó kówó fún ẹ tó fi ń ṣe Sahara reporter lẹ́ni? Kí ni agenda Omidiya tí àwọn èèyàn tẹ̀ dàbí àwọn bíi Fúlàní? Omidiya Foundation. These are all the people that funded you. So máa jáde máa fẹ̀gẹ̀ sáwa. Máa jáde kó máa fẹ̀gẹ̀ fún wa. Because a mọ gbogbo agenda yín. And agenda ẹ Ọlọ́run ti ṣe kí ni? Ó ti bá wa bàjẹ́. Agenda yẹn ẹ lè destroy Ìgbòho ni mo sọ. Ẹ lè ever destroy ọmọdé Yẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá. Ó ju gbogbo yín lọ. Kò ń ṣe tẹnu. And you know that. And you know that very well because you can say anything from now to thy kingdom come. That agenda, you can never destroy it. So let's go further here, because of the time. Now, let's go back to the article, Toko. So Tinubu had to retreat because it was based on their own security intelligence that Buhari knew Tinubu was behind them. But they had already achieved what he wanted to achieve, which was to scare Buhari people to know that he has the capacity to disrupt the country. Abibeko, the same Buhari. So that means you were more happy that Buhari did everything he did. And that's the evidence I've played in that video. Because you know now, because nígbà tí Buhari wọlé, you were so excited with the Northerners. Because you have an agenda. So, ṣé Tinubu only right láti the president? Is Tinubu not have the same right to be the president? Why did Buhari never wanted Tinubu to be the president? Oh, ṣé torí pé wọ́n ṣe Yorùbá nation? Torí wọ́n gbé Yorùbá nation dání kò mí pa stupidi. Stupidi, akọ̀dákẹ́ ni pé President Tinubu fi ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà sílẹ̀ kájọ máa ṣe Yorùbá nation. Olùpa stupidi ni. If we have go hard with you as at the time, wọ́n ọ̀bẹ ní kankan dá. Kẹwàá máa sọ fún wa pé àní support Tinubu. Ṣé Tinubu ò ní right ni? Ìwé mélòó ni Buhari kà? Ìwé mélòó ni Buhari kà ju Tinubu lọ? So what you are happy was Buhari became the president after Tinubu put his hand to the Yoruba people and said, Dìbò fún. It's Tinubu that brought Buhari to the southwest. Tinubu ló gbé Buhari wá náà, ta ló mọ Buhari, ta ló mọ wèrè, ta ló mọ àwọn ọmọ oníran bíi tiwọn náà. Ṣebí Tinubu ló gbé wá. And when Tinubu brought Buhari, we thought that, okay, based on what Tinubu told the Yoruba people, vote for him, it will be my turn. Èmi ló kàn, kí ló wà níbẹ̀? Kí ló wà nínú èmi ló kàn? Yes, he has the right to be the president. Everybody has the right. Ìwọ náà ní right láti ṣe president, but nobody will vote for you. Not even your family. Not even your wife. Not even your children. Nobody will vote for you. Not even those that you are calling AAC. So let's put this out to Sowore. There is no amount of distort information in 2026 that you can use to destroy Yoruba people. Tó bá fẹ́ fi orí Yorùbá méjì gbára wọn, irọ́ ló pa. Because we know your kind. Let's go further. The allegation comes amid ongoing controversy surrounding Igboho's recent political stance and his open support. Yes, he has every right to support Tinubu. Because nígbà tí Tinubu gbé ṣù tó gbé Buhari wá, ó sọ fún Buhari pé màá mú ẹ lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ní South West. Wá dìbò fún ẹ. Tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ti ṣe tiyín tán, àwa ló máa kàn. According to the rotation, South West was meant to have the presidency. Regardless of whether we were campaigning for the dissolution of Nigeria, that is the current rotation. It comes back to the Southwest, and the person that thinks that he can be that president, based on whatever agenda or whatever arrangement that they have, Tinubu put himself out. But we know what Buhari wanted to do. He wanted to destroy the agenda, the ambition, because everybody have the right to be ambition. There's nothing wrong in that. So why should Buhari wanted to destroy the ambition of another man that will say he wants to be the president? Oh, is it because that we were not interested in that section? So for that reason, we should allow the Fulani to destroy Tinubu? Is that what you're saying? Orí ẹ̀ tọ́nà sọ́bẹ̀ ọmọ àlè. Orí ẹ̀ ó ṣe kíni ó ń tọ́nà sọ́bẹ̀. This is Koikimedia bringing the world closer to your doorstep. He stressed that the movement cannot be halted by a single figure. Adding, no one can stop the emancipation of the Yoruba nation agitation, not even Sunday Igboho himself. Koiki had also dismissed criticism over Igboho's support for Tinubu, insisting that the activists remain committed to his personal political choice. Yes, I have said so. That is his political choice. And he can do whatever he thinks is still unfavorable for the Yoruba people. Ṣé ká fi àwọn Fúlàní sílẹ̀ kó pa wá tán? Ṣé ká fi àwọn Fúlàní sílẹ̀ because àfẹ́ Tinubu? Oh, ìtòrí àfẹ́ Tinubu nísìn. Oh, I don't want Tinubu. Oh, hey, Tinubu. Oh. And they must finish us in a country where security has become a daily butter that many people are facing millions of naira and many problems. Idiot all over the place. And on that note, let's quickly go to TheRippleNigeria.com. This was written by David Odoye. How many of you know him? He's an investigative journalist like well. So Sowore rò pé òun nìkan làwọn tó ṣe Sowore ó ti dàgbà. Àwa tá wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀, àwa náà ti ń gbìyànjú. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ti ń dé gbìyànjú wa sáde. So kí ni nǹkan tó wá ń sọ? Kí ni nǹkan tó ń sọ? Àbí? Kí ni nǹkan tó ń sọ? Kí ni nǹkan tó ń sọ? Let's quickly read this article from Odoye. Sowore is not who he claims he is. The biggest plant in West Africa, sponsored by the U.S. intelligence agency, David Odoye. This was an article 11 months ago, May 13, 2025. Let's read according to what David Odoye knows. I don't know what he knows because everybody has their facts and everybody knows where they find their information. But what I am saying to you, give us your evidence that we were funded. Because if you say that Tinubu was funding, I might as well be saying that I was funded. So I need to know which of my account did Tinubu pay the money to, which of the account that the Sheyi Tinubu paid us. Orí ọ̀pọ̀ ọmọ àlè. Nigerian investigative journalist David Odoye has exposed former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, in 2023 general election, Omoyele Sowore, claiming his stance as a revolutionary activist is just a front, as he is the biggest plant in West Africa who is sponsored by U.S. intelligence agencies. Let's read further. David Odoye, who made the assertion in a post on his verified X handle, which was former Twitter, on Monday night said, Omoyele Sowore, the publisher of online news platform Sahara Reporter and the convener of #RevolutionNow, is a front ẹni tó gbáwájú undercover ẹni tó fẹ́ jẹ́ kọ́ mọ in tóun ṣe gangan because tó bá mọ̀ ó mọ̀ pé àṣírí máa tú. Undercover agent for the agency whose major task is to destabilize African countries through subterfuge. Wọ́n ní Sowore David Odoye ní wọ́n plant ẹni ṣé torí ẹ̀ làwọn yẹn ṣe fún ẹ lówó èlò gan ló gbà èlò lówó tó san fún ẹ because we know that it's not a small money. Let's go further. He specifically mentioned ẹ gbọ́ bí báyìí dáadáa I have given you the 3 names. David Odoye mentioned those names in this article. Let's read further. He specifically mentioned some of the agencies allegedly sponsoring Sowore's platform to include the Ford Foundation, Mokalenko, MacArthur Foundation, and Olivia Network, who are all US agency. Àwọn US ló ní agency yẹn. So àwọn ni wọ́n ń gbé owó gbẹ̀ngbẹ̀gbẹ̀ngbẹ̀ ńláńlá tọkọ fún Sahara reporter pé ṣáà máa sọ pé òun ṣe investigative journalist but tó bá ní kó máa ṣe wọ́n ní kó máa ṣe lọ. Do you know how many undercover ló wà ní Iran nísìnyí? As the war is going into a very difficult day, by the end of tomorrow morning, goes according to Donald Trump. But do you know that they still have a lot of undercover working in Iran? That is how they work around the world. Is Sowore also an undercover in the west part of Africa? That is what David Odoye is putting out here. Who are all agency? He added that President Bola Tinubu is also working for the same agency, according to David Odoye. I have already said everything I have to say about Sowore. He works for the same people Tinubu works for. Sori pé ìwọ tó ní èèyàn kan wọ́ọ̀kì fún Tinubu tó ń fund Odoye òun tẹ̀ tún mú Tinubu mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tiẹ̀. David Odoye ò ṣe kọ article. You think that if David Odoye have all the evidence on Igboho, kí ló kàn pẹ̀lú Igboho? He would have put it out. Kò mọ Igboho rí, kò Igboho kò bọ́, kò jẹun pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. I don't have David Odoye's number. If David Odoye has that credible information, he will have released it. Even Dr. Kemi Oluloyo will have released it. Shoyombo, these are some of the best investigative journalists that we have. You think that you are the only investigative journalist? They play. Sowore they play. Just because he wears the beret and shout #revolution now, some people think that in and of itself must put him against the status quo. Meanwhile, the oldest trick in the Western Foreign Intelligence book is to infiltrate and subvert revolution space using their funded Trojan horses. We know that America does it. We know all the countries around the world that does it. They wanted to have a revolution in Iran in December. Fail could work. Yes, it's something that they do. Wọ́n sponsor wọn kan, wọ́n kówó fún wọn, wọ́n filtrate wọn. Wọ́n ní Sowore, wọ́n ní rẹ̀ ni wọ́n náà ń ṣe, according to David Odoye. And I'm not sure whether you have taken him to court. Ó ti gbé lọ court àbí? We're almost there. They have literally gone as far as embedding their undercover agent like Sowore into organizations they want to infiltrate and getting them to even marry members of this organization and raise kids with them. Ẹni tó bá mọ̀ tó ń pè undercover. Let me tell you something. I've lived in the West for 29 years. Sometimes wàá fẹ́ obìnrin mi àbí kọ́kùnrin fẹ́ obìnrin wàá jọ máa gbé ilé bí ọkọ àti táyà. Ọkọ ní mo rúṣẹ́ tọ́bìnrin yẹn ṣe, obìnrin kan ní mo rúkọ tó kàn ṣe. Á dẹ̀ máa lọ sí normal day job ẹ̀. Bí ẹ̀yin rò pé movie nìkan tá máa ń ṣe, kò ń ṣe movie. This is the reality of the world that we are living today. Bó ṣe ń live nìyẹn, they will implant somebody, wọ́n á ní kó lọ gbé ní Britain, wọ́n á ní kó lọ gbé l'America, á fẹ́yàwó síbẹ̀, á bímọ síbẹ̀, á dẹ̀ máa ṣe daily job ẹ̀. But we know the kind of people that they are. Ìyẹn làwọn kan ṣe máa wonder pé maybe people like us as well we are funded. Orí yóò pè. Orí gbogbo yín ò pè, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ń ronú bẹ́ẹ̀. Orí ìyá mi máa mú gbogbo yín ni. Bomb bastard all over the place. Now, compared to that level of subversive effort, how hard is it to fund one yellow beret wearing nothing in West Africa to jump around and destroy the actual revolutionary movement? Wọ́n ní Sowore gangan ni kò jẹ́ kí revolution gangan jáde. Because kò sí anything tó bá ń ṣe Nàìjíríà báyìí, a fẹ́ leader. He wants to be the leader. He wants to lead from the front. He wants to lead from the front. Somebody is commenting here says, I was secretary of Sowore Take It Back movement in UK. They donated to him in his political pursuit. He squandered the money and we sent to him to use it to live in a 5-star hotel. S.O. Opanuga on the YouTube. That's the comment here, and maybe we should screenshot this so that Kali send it to Sowore. I've screenshot it. We can send it to Sowore. I send it. I was the secretary, according to S.O. Opanuga, of Take It Back movement. One Sowore, one Wotoba, one of Filonson's 5-star hotel. Sahara Reporter was traditionally supported by grants donated by international foundation and non-governmental organizations. Do you know millions of Nigerians that need money as well, that want to be funded? They cannot be funded. So if you are funded for whatever reason and you don't know what to say, keep Igboho's name out of your dirty, stinking mouth. Because hate him or like him, you don't have to respect